Hi everyone, my name is Kanika Kush and I'm the host and the founder of the talk show called Voice of Silence, which is also a podcast by the way on YouTube. You can check out the link, check it out, and please go and subscribe because I'm trying to grow organically there. Moving along, we have completed 40 whole episodes through 2 seasons over the past 1.5 years, and as we speak, we are about to embark on season 3 starting Jan end. What does Voice of Silence mean? Well, Voice of Silence basically is paying respect to pain or paying homage to pain. Right now, what does that mean? Look, we all know that as human beings, we are going to suffer. When we say suffer, suffering is a product of pain. Now, that nobody is going to, escape. But have you noticed that due to the following 5 things, we tend to double or twin up or magnify the pain? What are these 5 things? The first is non communication. We don't talk about it. Number two, the fear of judgment. Number three, we isolate ourselves, we'll not like leave me alone. Number four, feelings of inadequacy, that I'm going through this and maybe because I'm not good enough, and number five, which is like the ultimate, is making stories in our head about it. We all do it, we all are guilty. I'm here to tell you that these 5 reasons that lead to the doubling of pain can be avoided. I'm saying it thok baja ke. They can be. So let's say this is the original pain and this is that unnecessary pain. I feel very strongly that this can be removed by removing those 5 things. The first begins with communication, right? The voice. Does that make sense? So let me be your voice of silence. Now, why? Why did the term voice of silence come? It has 2 reasons. The first is that I had gone for a meditation practice called Vipassana, and maybe my subconscious or the universe, or I think both are the same, they pushed out this need to be the voice of silence. What do I mean by that? Since the age of 7 or 8, do you know that in this little beautiful heart that I carry, there are more than 1,000 stories that I have curated on pain. And you, those of you who know me, you know that I have been listening to your stories. And believe me, it's been going on since I was 7 or 8, and I'm 43 almost today. So I think when I went to Vipassana, something came, the voice in me, interesting, right? The voice of silence inside me came out and said, don't just listen, do something about it. It is almost like a purpose. Like I can't claim it. It's something I have to do, period. So I'm going to do, right? So that was the reason one. And reason two is because, well, I felt unheard and unlistened to all my life and have been misunderstood for the longest time, and I've suffered because of that, and of the same reasons that I just mentioned. So I don't want to do that anymore. And also, of course, I have healed to a very large extent, and therefore today I want to be that person who can pay it forward. That is the why. Now, coming to what kind of speakers am I looking at, and that's the main crux of the video. In season 3, I want to like tweak it a little bit, and like I said, I need people who actually pay respect to pain. Let's say you're a person who has felt deep pain, then dealt with the deep pain, then emerged out of it stronger, and today lives to talk about it openly, does not feel embarrassed, and is trying to create a positive impact with that experience. You're the right candidate if you're willing. And I would request you to please come forward and be a speaker, because we need people like you, to speak. So I'll be your voice and you just speak. And we all hope that somebody out there gets benefited, as people have been over the past 40 episodes. Let me also specify the topics that we are looking at in season 3. So the first is under the big umbrella of relationships. And when I say relationships, I think, let's face it, human beings for each other are the cause of a lot of suffering. And for no fault of anybody, it's because we all come from very different backgrounds. So the first is relationships. When I say that, we are talking about relationships in the construct of marriage, parenting, childhood, friendships, partnerships, anything, and you realize that it has caused you pain and you have emerged from it, then yes, kind of qualifies under the umbrella of relationships. And in that also things like medical issues, tragedies, because, well, that does tend to have a rippling effect, right, on the relationships. So that's the first. The second is identity crisis. Of course, it covers, the biggest umbrella here is the LGBTQIA community, but I also come under this. I identified recently that I have a trait called being a highly sensitive person, which is actually a gift. It's a wonderful gift. But the thing is that till the time you don't realize that you are one, I've just been hurt and misunderstood, and I was assumed to be somebody else, which I'm not. Now that is also identity crisis. Today I own that. Today I tell people this is who I am, so please don't do this. Now I can protect myself, but I wasn't able to earlier. So that's identity crisis as well. And number three is crime and abuse. This one is a tough one. I don't know where will I get speakers, but if I do, I'll be very thankful if you yourself have committed a crime or know somebody who has. And what is my intent behind this? My intent is that people who commit crimes are also humans first, and there's a reason why they committed crime. So can the rest of us humans learn from them that what transpired in your brain to do that thing? I want to not judge the crime because I'm not judge and jury. I'm voice of silence. So I'm not sitting here to judge. How can I? I mean, so much of flaws are there in this person as well. Nobody can judge anybody else. But I think what we can do is understand. What we can do is talk. What we can do is try and empathize. And what we can do is try and improve. So these are my three main topics under which I want to, kind of put the talks. So if you identify with any of these, and of course the previous one, that you need to be a winner, not a victim. That I'll draw a very strong line at, because victimhood means you still have work to do, whereas winner means that you have dealt with the situation and can contribute positively to the world. Moving ahead, I'm also looking at anybody who would want to collaborate with Voice of Silence, because I'll be remiss if I don't mention the number of people that came forward to as volunteers. By the way, it's been a voluntary venture, and the fee that I get from my art kind of funds Voice of Silence. And of course, there have been numerous people who actually sponsored the episodes. There were so many venues that came forward as just volunteers that please take our space up. There were people who sponsored clothes, who sponsored jewelry, who sponsored products. So thank you so much. It is never possible without teamwork. So I'm saying please don't stop that. And if you want to collaborate, for anything, but mostly in terms of course, as a speaker. Number two, as a very kind donor, that would be awesome. And number three, in any other way that you deem fit. And in the same breath, I would like to say it's a disclaimer of sorts that please don't take it personally if me or my team, we choose to not go ahead with you because it may not be aligned with the vision that we have in mind. And that's all. That's the long and short of it. There is no other agenda here. Okay. On that note, have a beautiful day and thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned and I will keep sending updates. Bye.